Hey, let's level some audio tracks. Here we go. So you see we've got the timeline here. If you hit backspace, you see everything. You can see we've got our B-roll track here. We've got our interview track here with the interview audio, and then a music track down here. If I go to the beginning by hitting Shift-I and play, you'll see that the music track's stepping all over the dialogue. Basically can't even hear what she's saying, but at the same time, we don't want the music so low in the beginning that it doesn't right away grab your attention. What we're going to do is boost the dialogue and then strategically bring down the music track. First things first, let's mute this and play back just the dialogue. So you can see over here where the audio is hitting, and there's these peaks up here. So if we just brought the audio up in volume, the peaks would be hitting here, but the overall volume would be down here. So you can see the average peak seems to be right about -18. So what you're going to want to do is go over here to your track mixer, not your audio clip mixer, but your audio track mixer. Hit this little arrow to pop out the effects. We're going to give it a quick little audio mix. First things first, I'm going to go to Filter EQ, Graphic Equalizer, right-click, Lead Vocal, and then I'm going to go into right-click, Edit, and then this is, see, just gives you a little bump here. So first things first, I'm going to drag out this stuff, which you don't hear, but it takes away from your overall audio headroom. It just gives you a nice little presence boost. Next up, we're going to pick a single band compressor, open that up. And remember when we listened before for -18, that's where this is important. So in your threshold, you type in -18, ratio 10. I'll explain what that means later. Attack 0, output gain 8. Tragedy that occurred in 2011. See, now it's popping up here. So let's go a little bit more. Let's try 14. Through that experience, I was getting a little better. The motorcycle world. -3 is a pretty good spot, but I want it to be nice and loud. To help veterans and first responders. It's up here, but it's staying within a nice range. That's because of the ratio. The ratio is the amount of compression that you're putting on there. 10's a pretty good amount. So you're pushing down those transients and bringing up the lower spoken things. To explain that a little bit better, you can see when people talk, sometimes they talk loud, sometimes they talk quiet. You know, they start their sentence loud and then they end quiet. So basically what this does is brings this down and brings this up. That's what a compressor does. It compresses. So now that you've got everything nice and loud, I'm actually going to bring that down a little bit because I do want a little bit of headroom. But if I just bring in the music, now it's going to be clipping. And by clipping, I mean it's up here, and that means it's distorted and sounds terrible. What we're going to do is have the music go up and down between her statements. And there's multiple ways to do that. Most people draw keyframes or do some other thing, but I hate that. I think that takes forever. The quickest way to do it is just make cuts on your audio. So cut it every time the audio stops and starts for any significant amount of time. Not for like these short little spaces, but for these longer spaces, I want the music to come up just a little bit. And then again at the end. Obviously, we want it to start loud. We want that to stay the same. And then as soon as she starts talking, we want it to go down. So click on this, go to your effects controls, turn off this keyframe thing, and put this down to, let's say, -12. There's a little bit of experimentation here. In 2011, I learned maybe a little too much. Let's try -9. It just depends on the track and the talking and the mix that you're going for. Some people want the music bed way in the background. I like it to be nice and present, especially for this, which is kind of a punchy, energetic edit. Through rebuilding a motorcycle. That seems pretty solid, right? But you can't just have it hit out of a track because it's weird. So what you do is you select this, Command-Shift-D. What that does is put your preset audio fade in for your preset amount of time. The way you pick that is Command, comma, timeline, audio transition, default duration. 10 frames is a good one for this. Get rid of the one at the beginning because we don't want it to fade in the beginning. So now, out of a tragedy that occurred in 2000. So I just pull this back a little bit because you don't want it to hit that red. Out of a tragedy that. So now you got a nice smooth transition. And basically just rinse and repeat. Level, -9. And maybe since this part of the song's a little bit louder, I might bring it down a little bit more. I'll check that out in a sec. So any of the parts that are under dialogue, bring it down. And then just select the whole thing, Command-Shift-D, and then now it's basically mixed. And that way, if you make any edits later on, you move this stuff over, you don't have to redraw keyframes or anything. You just drag over these little guys here. And you can make this a longer fade out, maybe, something like that.
Around motorcycles.
And that fades right out. This is going to help you speed up your editing workflow and make your videos sound better faster. If there's anything else that you want me to touch on, please ask. Thanks for watching.